Excellent. So, recording set. So, welcome everyone to Team Elevate's final cooking class for the year. It's our festive class, so obviously we plan to show you a gazillion things to gift, enjoy, share, and try new things. Hopefully you've tried some of them before. Would love to know your favourite recipes. Please put them in the chat that you like to have at Christmas time, because we would all like to see what it is that you're actually making with your Thermomix. I have actually got everyone pinned to the main screen. For the recording, it will just show the speaker, so it makes it a bit easier. On your view, you can actually swipe and just pin individual people. So that makes it easier for you to see everyone or the person who's speaking at the time. If you're looking on your phone, then by all means you can touch the three dots up in their top corner and you can spotlight them individually. But we're going to crack on. I just want to introduce everyone first. We've got Deb, we've got Jane, I've got Lyndall, there's Anne, and there's Leanne. They will introduce themselves as well as they come along. And hopefully we've also got a recording from Lee, who was unable to be with us tonight, but she very kindly did a recording for us to share as well. So we'll get started. I will mute myself, and Deb, you can take it away.
Hi everyone, welcome tonight and Merry Christmas to you all. It's 2 weeks today, officially I heard, so a bit exciting. Tonight I am making the chocolate and aniseed fruit bark, which is a great one for hampers, for gifting, and great to have on your Christmas table too, and it is delicious. So I'm going to start cooking. I'll just turn my Thermomix around, my screen I mean. So what I have done to begin with, it says to grease and line your tray, but I've just used our rose gold tray with our silicone mat, so there's no need for greasing. And set aside, and I'm going to grind down some star anise to make some aniseed for our star dish. So, and it goes. And it's just for 20 seconds on speed 9. Smells like licorice in my house now. So we only need a little bit of this ground down aniseed for our recipe, and if you store the rest into an airtight jar, it will last for a couple of months and stay fresh. So I'm just going to scrape it down. I wish you could smell it now. It smells beautiful. So this is quite an important base. And then we're going to give it another quick whiz. Noisy, you can hear me above it all. But hope you're all ready for Christmas and the Christmas countdown. Okay. So we're going to reserve a teaspoon of the ground anise for our chocolate. I'll just show you. So you can all see that in there, hopefully. It's all ground down.
Sorry? Is it replace it with another? Well, you change it, you chop and change it.
Mute themselves in the background.
Last 2 colours.
Someone's husband talking or partner.
On is away. Was out.
Yep, muted them.
Okay. So we're going to, as I said, we're going to add, I'll transfer the rest of that into an airtight jar and it will keep. So now all I'm going to do is add in 70 grams of apricots. And we're going to chop those. for 3 seconds. This is the quickest and easiest dish. It's such a ripper. We're going to transfer that into a bowl. Chopped apricots, quick and easy. Do the same again for the, and I reckon I missed that cranberry, so I'm just going to go back a step, which is easy to do. I did. So I'll add in the cranberries, chop them quickly. Add those to our nuts. Cranberries chopped. Add them to the bowl. Pop in our 70 grams of roasted salted cashew nuts. You can use a mixture though if you like. Grind them for 5 seconds. And add them to our fruit. There's our chopped peanuts.
There are so many things at this time of year, Deb, where we're chopping them down. It's, you know, biscuits, nuts, fruit, all sorts of stuff. The power of the Thermomix blades definitely makes that job a lot easier, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. No more chopping. Who wants to stand there chopping? Now, the next step is the rinse and the dry, the mixing bowl. And if you're lucky enough to have a bonus bowl, all I'm going to do is pop in my nice clean bowl so you don't have to wait for me, which is a godsend too. And press next. How quick and easy is that? Now, next step for me is to place in my broken chocolate, dark chocolate, 400 grams. Add in my teaspoon of star anise.
Mix it up today, gives a good variety.
Next again, and now I'm going to melt my chocolate for 3 minutes at 50 degrees so it doesn't burn the chocolate, and then it'll be ready to assemble. It's the best recipe. It's so quick and easy, and if you have to take in morning tea or you want to give a gift to that special someone that's helped you out, oh, look, that took me literally 3 minutes. And it's just about ready. By the time that chocolate's melted and I'll come back to you and pop on the topping, it's done in the freezer. What could be easier? So I'll pop on to melt the chocolate for 3 minutes, Sarah, if you want to move to the next person while it's melting, and then I'll come back to you.
Yeah, we can move across to Leanne. So Leanne, you want to take away with your festive salad?
Okay, so hello, I'm Leanne, and I'm making the crunchy broccoli salad with speck or bacon, as I'm going to do today. I've never actually done these recipes, so I just went on to Cookie Do yesterday and pretty much went, that looks pretty good, I'm going to cook that. And that's what I love about Cookie Do. I can just be inspired and just, you know, get some new ideas and just cook it straight away as long as I've got all the ingredients. So first of all, putting in some extra virgin olive oil, 20 grams. Then we're going to put 150 grams of speck or finely diced bacon, as I've done, or you can use any other type of meat that you like. So I've just put a little bit more because I like it and I already chopped it up. So it's actually 200 grams. 4 tablespoons of raw cashews. 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. I'm going to pop the splash guard, which I've just got to grab. there. I've got my splash guard. Top. Okay, so that's going to saute for 8 minutes. So you might want to pop over to someone else in that time.
Cam, just quickly to answer your questions, you can buy anise seeds, but like literally with your Thermomix, you can also just blitz your star anise. So I use the whole thing, so I don't waste. It's the same. So the if you're just using the seeds, they have a slightly stronger flavour, but like I just grind the whole thing up because I'm not hunting down just plain anise seeds. It's also about budget at this time of year when you are definitely diving into everything. Sue, yes, Pam, all these recipes are in Cookie-Doo, and Sue, the recipe bar is definitely in Cookie-Doo. So we will be trying to add the recipe links in as we go, but the last couple of times I've been adding recipe links, it's shutting Zoom. So in order for that not to happen, I've got one of the other girls trying to do it, and they're having a few issues too. Otherwise, we will email them out at the end. So don't panic. I will put them all together if we can't manage to get them loaded through the class. So we'll give it a go. Right. Keep going. Leanne, what were you doing? Sorry, you threw away.
So I've got 6 more minutes for sauteing, and I can actually hear, I don't know if many of the people on the call have done a lot of the sizzling or sauteing, but it actually sounds like it's on a fry pan right now. So the amazing bonus of the TM6 is the sizzle function, but I've actually never heard it this sizzling. So yeah, it does sound like I've got a frying pan going in my kitchen, but it's just my Thermomix. And I don't have any splatter going anywhere up on my lovely splashback, which usually if I was on, my fry pan, that's what would be happening. So yes, I've got now 5 more minutes for that. So I'm not sure if we want to, maybe Deb might be finished at 3 minutes.
Yeah, Deb, has yours finished up? I see you've just popped your bowl back.
So I've just had to scrape it down. So all I've done now is scrape down my chocolate, and I need to put it on for another 4 minutes to melt. So it is halfway melted, and it goes on for another 4 minutes. So won't be too much longer for me.
Well, I'll move on and get us started then on another dish. So we've got the aniseed bar melting the chocolate. We've got our bacon sizzling away. And it's funny because Zoom normally cuts it out, but I can hear your blades turning on and off. So I do like that. It's like, oh yes, there it goes, sizzle, sizzle. I'm going to show you a fabulous tear and share recipe that you can take with you, and it's called the Festive Christmas wreath or camembert wreath. So you make a batch of the pizza dough and you put it into 2 discs. So I literally roll this out to the mat. So your Thermomat, which actually is one of the host rewards, I roll that out to that because it fits my pan nicely. So what we're going to do with that is pop our wheel of camembert in the middle of that. Then what we have here is our filling. So this has to be cooled. So I have made this in advance. It's actually just some eschalots, some butter, some cranberries. You can use all dried cranberries if you can't get your hands on any frozen, but otherwise it's a mix of dried and frozen. Some sugar, some port, some salt, some pepper, and some sprigs of thyme. So once you've got that made and cooled down, we're going to actually put 3/4 of this around our camembert. Leave a little bit there because you're saving some back for your topping. So you're going to leave an edge around so you can actually pinch the other layer of dough onto the top So you're going to sandwich the filling in. So that is our beautiful onion and cranberry filling. Then what we're going to turn around and do is put on our bacon. I just used the sizzle that Leanne is talking about. I just went into the mushroom risotto TM6 recipe, and instead of onions, I put my bacon in that I'd given a rough chop and use the high heat function from there to do a sneaky little shortcut, because you only use a little bit. I used 150 grams, so it's roughly, you know, the weight of an onion, as opposed to having a 500 grams or a 300 grams, which I think is the minimum otherwise. So that's sort of what we're looking like at the minute. And then we've got our bacon there. So now we're also going to put down our pistachios that I've given a rough chop. So we've got those there as well. They're going in. Who likes taking things to tear and share to their celebrations, be that at Christmas or any other time of year? They're really handy to just take these types of things. So, right, we've now got the other one. And I'm literally going to place it across the top. And then literally you're just going to pinch your edges together. And you're going to make some cuts across the middle of your cheese. So I just start by making a cross in the center. And then you literally want to roll that back out of the way so that your cheese is actually going to be out in the open. Does that make sense? That's what we've got at the minute. So then what we're going to do from there is cut the rest of it. So you need to cut it all the way through. And we need to cut it into about 16. So start by making some quarters. And then we cut those in half again. And half again.
Yeah, sorry. Interrupt quickly while you're cutting, because my chocolate's ready, and you know what chocolate's like, it's not forgiving.
No, go for life.
So everybody, my chocolate has now melted, and I am just spreading it onto my blind tray, which is my mat. Getting out the last of that chocolate. And then all I have got to do now is just sprinkle on my nuts and my fruit all over it. Just scatter it on. My nuts have gone down. Fruit on. Okay. Make sure it's spread it out evenly. And it's, you know, make sure you mix it all, the fruit up, so it looks nice and festive. And then all I have to do is pop that into the fridge and it will set, and it's just a matter of breaking it up to how bigger pieces you would like. So it is done. Look at that. So I'm going to pop that in the fridge and hopefully it'll set in time before I have to run away so I can show you. So sorry, Sarah, I didn't want to interrupt, but I thought, oh, I need to just tell you this and then I can get it into the fridge.
No, you can't mess around with the chocolate when it's ready to go. You need to go. So that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I was literally only chopping little pieces. So
Yeah. But how quick is that, everybody? Like, so simple, so quick, and it is divine, really divine.
So there you are now with that festive sort of wreath. So I've cut it into the pieces and then I've brushed it with egg. Now all we're going to do is pick up each piece. If I can, shows how good my knife skills are or aren't if I can't pick them up. We're literally going to pick one up and then give it a twist. Can you see? So it says turn at 90 degrees. So you're literally just picking up the piece you had and then giving it a twist so that your pieces are out. Does that make sense? I'm going to keep pulling and twisting, not on an angle. So hopefully it will look a bit better than it will if I'm doing it one-handed.
Leanne, did you want to jump back and finish your salad?
Yeah,
or-
I will actually. So what I've just done is my sizzling has stopped, and I've now transferred that bacon that's got the cashews and the seeds in there onto just a plate with a towel, just to try and get a bit of that oil out. So that's just now sitting aside. And like Deb, I've got lucky enough to have another bowl because I do not want to be washing this because it's a little dirty. I'm just going to take the dirty one out, put a clean one in, and I'll deal with that later. And so the next step for me is putting one celery stalk in. I've just put 1.5, roughly chopped. 30 grams of red onion. Pop that in. So we're just going to chop that for 3 seconds.
It's hard to believe that things can get chopped in 3 seconds, I think, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. And one thing I cannot stand is cutting onions. So yes, 3 seconds and we have that. Pretty amazing, as you say. So just gonna pop that down. So the next is 400 grams of broccoli. Yeah. 80 grams of mayonnaise. And 80 grams of natural yogurt. Two teaspoons of seeded whole grain mustard. Salt and pepper. Pop that lid on. Now with this one, it says to put your spatula in the top while it's chopping. I'm going to stir it. So just going to pop that in now. So when I start turning it, nothing will fly out the top. So for 6 seconds, we're just going to chop that. So with this one, it's pretty much saying you just need to check to see if it's the consistency that you like. And so because this is raw broccoli, I'm going to make sure it's really fine because I don't really like big chunks of broccoli. So I'm just going to check that. I'll just show you what it's looking like at the minute. So it's pretty fine. I think I like that consistency. So if I didn't like it, I'd just go back and just repeat that step, or I'd, you know, maybe increase the blades a little to make it chop finer, or, you know, whatever I like. I'm happy with that. So just go next. Okay, so now that's pretty much it. My salad is done. I'm just going to put it all together. So it's asking me to transfer that to a bowl. And then what I'm going to do is, while somebody else is doing something else, I'm just going to put, it looks like a common theme at the minute with the cranberries. So I've got some cranberries here that I'm going to sprinkle on top, and I'm going to make it all look pretty. So that's pretty much my salad. Over to you, Sarah.
Well, I mean, if you can whip up a salad in under 5 minutes, you can't be concerned about that. So it's certainly pretty handy to do. So that is mine. Whee, nearly tipped it clean off. That'd be so there are all your twists, and I've just finished brushing it with the last of the beaten egg. You do reserve some of your onion cranberry mix, a little bit of your bacon, and you've got some extra pistachios. I just mix them all together because once this is cooked, that's actually going to get served all sprinkled across the top. But in the meantime, I'm going to pop this into the oven, and this is going to cook for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer on the Thermomix screen. So you just touch the little arrow on the top of the screen. I'm going to set the timer for 19 minutes. And then I hit the cross to make it go away so I can keep using the Thermomix. So that one is into the oven. We're going to set that aside. But I'm going to keep going while we're here. And I'm going to move on to make the berry liqueur recipe. Like all the other girls, just move one off and bring the next one on. So make life easy for yourself. Would love to know in the chat if you actually have a second bowl blade set. Some of you have got them as host rewards. Some of you have got them when you've invested in your Thermomix in the first place. So there are lots of different recipes that use 2 bowls, and there are collections dedicated to 2 bowls as well. But literally just to grate your cheese or to mill your sugar. It's a fantastic thing to have 2 bowls. So what I'm going to make now is a fabulous gift to give, but it's also a really nice little tipple to have on hand if people come around at the festive time. So I'm making a berry liqueur. So it wants 400 grams of mixed frozen berries. I've just got some blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries here. I'll pop that in. And it wants 300 of water. If there are people here who are a bit nervous about just free pouring into your Thermomix, you're worried about whether you can take it out or not, your measuring cup is exactly that. There are 2 little stick indicators, one on each side of your measuring cup. The short one is 50 mils and the top one is 100. So for this, you could literally fill your measuring cup 3 times. It will save you panicking about whether you're going over or not. So I have got 150 grams of sugar going in, and I've got 30 grams of some homemade vanilla sugar. It's really easy to make yourself. Literally, I just grab a container this size, I fill it with sugar, I split and scrape 2 vanilla beans and insert them in, and let that sit for around 2 weeks to dry out. Actually leave the lid off as best you can and put it somewhere the ants aren't going to find you. But then you pop it into your Thermomix, and like Deb ground up her chocolate and her spices and Leanne chopped up that salad, this will literally make your beautiful vanilla icing sugar in 10 seconds on speed 10. So you just pop it all in, and then this stuff saves you an absolute fortune. It's really economical to make this yourself. So pop our lids on. And we're going to cook all this down now for 15 minutes. So we'll move on to the next person. We're going to go across to Lyndall, and I'll mute myself so no one has to listen to that cooking. But this is the starting of the liqueur. We're going to cook down all that fruit and the sugar. So Lyndall, do you want to take it away?
Sure can. I actually made the star bread today, which is a very similar technique to Sarah. So on Cookie Do, there is lots of lovely pull apart breads that I've made before, and they're amazing. I'm a bit like Deb. I'm going to do a festive thing with chocolate today. No cranberries, but just chocolate. I'm going to do the peppermint hot chocolate stirrers. And these are a great gift, or my kids wanted to do something today. So that's what we've made some prior to today. So my kids bring home, they often get candy canes in their Christmas cards from all their friends. I don't know whether anyone else can relate to that. And I'm like, what am I going to do with all these candy canes? So I looked up a recipe of candy canes, and so I thought this. So I've actually, this calls for 25 grams of candy canes, and then you insert and then you chop for 2 seconds. Or 4 seconds if you need to. And I'm just going to show you, it actually is like candy cane sugar, and really fun. So I'm like, that's probably can keep for a long time. So I'm like, this year, I think if there's any candy canes left over, I'll just chop them up and keep them for something. Now, you obviously do that transfer. Then it's asked you to add 300 grams of chocolate to your bowl. Now, this is beautiful chocolate that Sarah actually got for me down at the chocolate shop down near the Great Ocean Road. So somehow got it back to Bendigo for me. She was amazing. Thank you, Anne, and thanks for my taxi. So I'm using that chocolate tonight because it's just such a beautiful chocolate. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to pop that in. Now, has anyone here used the chop mode for their Thermomix? So it's one of the modes. You can do this within the recipe, but I'm just going to talk you through how I do it if I was to do this manually and chop chocolate manually, because I actually do this a bit and I use the chop mode quite a bit. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly go to the modes. I'm going to you have to find the chop mode, and it's got lots of different things in there that you can have a look. Now, everything in the chop mode is actually in the back of your cookbook, but it just takes out the thinking for you. You don't have to think how much and how much do I put in and how long do I chop it for. So I ground coffee this morning in it, and now I'm just going to do some dark chocolate, and I'm going to do coarsely chopped. So then you weigh it in, you push the scales, you weigh, you set, go straight to your home screen, and all you have to do is turn the button, and it's automatically just going to...
I love it, Lyndall, because you don't have to remember anything, and it also protects your blades by using the right amount of things too.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So then I'm going to show you how it's got, I've done the chocolate, and I'll see if I can show you. Can you see that? So it's ground that in 4 seconds, which is, as we've talked about tonight, the blade, but it's just really great. So great, did you get that? Great. It grates the chocolate really well. So so it calls for that, and now this is going to melt as well. Now, the recipe also calls for peppermint essence in, so you can pop the peppermint essence in once you start melting. I'm actually not going to do that tonight because I did them with today, and my daughter doesn't like the peppermint. So I'm going to cook that for 5 minutes, melt it at 45. I love how it just tempers the chocolate great, and then I will come back to the next step after. I'm going to head back to, is it Anne? Anyway, I'll head back to Sarah and I'm going to start this on 5 minutes.
Yeah, Anne's a good choice. Throw it in that direction.
And before you start, Sarah, there was just a question in the chat about how big your container was, and I couldn't find mine. I guessed about 500 grams for sugar. Can you give us anything more accurate than my guesstimate? Because I couldn't find mine to compare, sorry.
On the bottom of the Tupperware container, it says it's 800 mils. So, if that helps.
Just before you start too, Anne, just quickly, I have just added some milk to my chocolate bowl and heated up my milk at 80 degrees. And then I've just used my blend mode and I'm finishing off with a nice yummy chocolate aniseed milky drink might put me to sleep tonight when I finally fall into bed. It's delicious.
And if you want a summer version, Deb, my kids wanted a cold one. So we did milk, but I did ice. So it was like a slushy, but it was with ice and the chocolate. And I thought that was a very big treat.
Ice cream.
Oh, ice cream, that'd be delicious.
Stop it, you girls.
No base. And it's clean my bowl.
All right. I am making a recipe and it's called the $250 chocolate chunky cookies. And there's an urban myth that this recipe came about. A woman went to a cooking class and she, I believe, was in America, and it was at a large department store. And when she got home, she decided she would perhaps purchase the recipe. You could buy the recipe. So she rang up, ordered it, and asked how much it was, and they said $250. And she goes, oh yeah, that's fine, just put it on my account. And they emailed the recipe to her. And when she checked her account at the end of the month, they charged her $250. And she decided, well, if they're going to charge me $250, I'm just going to give it away for free. And one of those people, we believe, may have had a Thermomix, because it's a Thermomix recipe now and it's absolutely delicious. It makes a huge quantity. The final mix you can't do in the Thermomix bowl because there's so much in it, but it's so good. Now, disclaimer, the Thermomix will chop your nuts and your chocolate, but this old lady here likes to do hers with a knife, so I'm not going to do them in the Thermomix. Shoot me if you like.
The beauty of
All right.
Anne, is you can use it how you like.
Yeah, so this is it.
Not a
So
recipe.
search for 200, put the $sign in, go 250, and away you go. So start cooking, super easy. 300 grams of rolled oats, and in it goes. That's a lot of oats. Next, put your lid on and your measuring cup in place, and then just a quick 3-second grind on speed. Then transfer that out and set it aside. 100 grams of roasted almonds. No, actually, I tell a lie, 150 grams of roasted almonds. So that makes let me get that in close. It mills the oats down, and so this could be healthy, don't you think? 150 grams of roasted and salted macadamias. Now, my macadamias I buy from Aldi. They weren't roasted, so I roasted them myself. My almonds I roasted myself in a dry fry pan. Okay, so they're chopped. We've done all that, and then it chops it. Speed 5 for 3 seconds. Great. Transfer them out and set them aside. Done. 250 grams of milk chocolate broken into pieces. Hello, today I didn't have 250 grams of milk chocolate, so we have a mix of white chocolate and milk chocolate. That happens. That'll teach me. And you break it into pieces. You put the lid on. Put the MC on 4 seconds on speed 5. Speed 5 is a great chopping speed. Linda was talking about using the chop. You can use the chop method as well, and then transfer them out and set them aside. So 150 grams now. So don't forget to tear your scale. 150 grams of brown sugar in, and then 220 grams of white sugar. Whoops, nearly added the wrong thing. You can reduce the sugar if you want to, but you're going to reduce the quantity of what you are making. And then turn it to speed 9, and it's only going to be for 10 seconds. So quick. Have you ever made icing sugar in your bowl? It is so good. So super fine when you mill it on speed 9. And look, we've got all the sugar dust happening as well. We can see it. It's super fine. I love it. So now, 250 grams of butter. One moment. I had to go and get it out of the fridge. Quite warm in my house tonight, so I had it out on the bench, and I need to pop it back in the fridge to firm it up a little bit. Right. Then a tablespoon of natural vanilla extract. You can make your own, and most of us girls often do. Then lid on, measuring cup on, and then mix this 30 seconds on speed 4. Now, watch it, because depending on how soft your butter is as to what it looks like, and if your butter is really soft, you don't want to overmix it. Going to stop it and check it. I'll call that done. That's beautiful. It's creamed. It's soft. Come together. The Thermomix will cream your butter and sugar a lot quicker than what a food processor will, or a cake mixer. All right, 2 eggs in. 250 grams of plain flour, which I had measured out earlier. Beautiful. And a teaspoon of bicarb and a teaspoon of baking powder. So bicarb in, baking powder in, and a pinch of sea salt. The salt will help to bring out the flavour. And then the reserved chopped oats back in. This is a huge mix. Let me show you. We are, look at that, nearly to the top. Next, put the lid on and the measuring cup. And 10 seconds on speed 6.
I definitely second the recommendation to make these biscuits. They are really decadent. They are a great one to make in advance, roll them into a log, slice them into rounds, and just slide little bits of baking paper in between them. And you can put that in the freezer. And then you can just pull out a couple and pop them on a tray to bake them if people turn up, instead of offering them out the entire tray, because trust me, you won't be wanting to share all of them. You will be wanting to keep your fingers on as many of them as you can. But it's a really, really, well, yeah, they're just scrumptious. They're a really delicious biscuit that are, well, they taste like a $250 biscuit. Let's put it bluntly. They're actually worth their title. They are really, really beautiful biscuits, and they look lovely as well. So they're a nice showstopper, these biscuits.
So I've repeated that process and scraped it down again. I don't know if Zoom allowed it, but there was a really high-pitched noise, and I ran to get my spatula because that high-pitched noise is nothing to worry about, but it just means there's no food on the blade. So, and then we've scraped it down, and then it's just going to be one more mix. So we're just about there. It's close. It weighs a ton.
So like Anne was just describing, it's the same as what Leanne did with the broccoli salad. So you're actually using the spatula through the hole while it's going to help put the ingredients from the top down to the bottom so you get a nice, quick, consistent chop.
Now, transfer the mixture to a large bowl. Let's show you what the mixture looks like. It's beautifully mixed. And you can tell it's beautifully mixed. Can you see how it started to come away from the edge? So it's all in together. Now, I'm just going to put the Thermomix out of the way on the floor. And we need a large bowl. So this one. And it says, we're going to tip in our chocolate into the bowl. Let's put that in. So I put half of it in, half the nuts. Put the mix in because you can't fit it all in the Thermomix bowl. It is so big. And like Sarah said, it makes a lovely gift, unbaked. So what we're going to do today is we're going to roll it into logs and pop it in the fridge to firm. So it needs to go into the fridge for a couple of hours to firm up. And then if I'm gifting it, I slice it like Sarah said and put a little bit of baked paper between each slice. And then I gift wrap it in a bit of some Glad wrap and some cellophane. And you can throw it in the freezer. You can gift it that way.
And you don't need to bother wrapping ours for Monday when you bring it. We'll just take it without the cellophane. You look like you're nearly ready to pour too.
Yeah, well,
go when everyone's ready.
Look at this massive bowl of cookie mix. It's amazing. So I might just go to someone else now. I am going to hand mix this in, the chocolate and the nuts. Then I'm going to divide it into 3 or 4, roll it in Glad wrap, and I'll show you what it looks like. I have baked some earlier.
Good work, Anne. We'll pop across to Lyndall because she's got the melted chocolate on the go, and then we'll come back to mine that's beeping everywhere.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Now, so you can see I've got, it makes beautiful melted chocolate, the Thermomix. It really does. Now, what I've done is it says you can put them in shot glasses, which I could get my shot glasses down, dust them off. But I'm actually going to use one of these that I've got from the mix shop. So these are a silicone muffin thing that sits in your varoma. And they're really great. I use them a lot for a lot of things. So what I've done is I've just put some mini marshmallows down the bottom of the down the bottom of it. And I'm just going to pour on top. And I'm going to I'll just do a few and then I'll show you. But I'm a bit like Deb, chocolate shouldn't be wasted. So I'm sure my husband will love a hot chocolate when the dark chocolate that I'm using is actually dairy free, which is amazing. So it means I can have it. And my kids can have it. So it's really good. So I've made a bit of a mess there, but all I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some little wooden spoons. So it says paddle pop sticks, but I just use these little wooden spoons and I'm going to put that in the top of them. And I'm going to sprinkle some marshmallows on top again. And then I'm going to get my lovely I won't do them all with this because my daughter doesn't like it, but with the peppermint candy canes. And I'm gonna sprinkle it on top. I'll leave 2 free for her. And then obviously I'll put that in the fridge to set. Now, what I've done earlier with my son, he's finished school already. It's just a bit scary when they finish school and you think, oh my goodness, that's the year gone. So we've made some ones earlier. So they're just, you can see the marshmallows on the bottom, and they're just little cute little things. And then what I've done is I've gift wrapped them for some little teacher gifts. So I'll obviously promoting Thermomix. So happy Christmas from me and Thermomix. So yeah, so that's really cool. But you can actually make different flavors. You can do, there's 3 different flavors on actual Cookie Do, but there's more on the internet. But you can do a raspberry and white chocolate one, or you can do a orange one. Yeah, so I reckon give them a go. It would be great for the grandkiddies, or great for your own kids. Something, a fun school holiday activity as well. So I'll pass back to Anne now. Are you ready, Anne, or will I go to Sarah?
Can I maybe just show mine quickly, ladies, just in case I run? Because I do have to pick up my daughter from work, but I just I didn't want to not show you. So I've just broken up my bark because I popped it in the freezer to speed it up, and it was super quick. And can you see that? Ta-da!
Oh, that looks so good, Deb.
Yum. I got to say it was very nice. I did have a picture.
Sitting on Santa's belly. On
Yep.
that.
And in mine. Thanks, ladies.
That looks great, Deb. And for the kids, if they didn't want to do fruit nuts, you could do your candy canes again, Deb, couldn't you? So, yeah.
You could do pretty much about anything, any sort of dried fruit combo, or you could be popping on pretzels or anything. Like, there's really no, limitation to what you can pop on top of your chocolate. But I've had a couple of timers going off. I'm not sure whether anyone heard it before, but the different sound, if you did hear it, is actually the timer that's built in. So the one that I set as a separate thing. But that said, that our beautiful festive camembert wreath is ready. So I've pulled that out of the oven. I've also just given that other bowl just a rinse, and I've got a sieve on the top because our berry liqueur has finished cooking, and it's asking for me to pour this now into the sieve to hold it back. So you want to just actually get all of that out of there. And the smell on this is absolutely divine. The mixed berries have just cooked up absolutely beautifully. So to that, it says to discard the contents of the sieve. So you want to make sure you get all the liquid out. You could be using a nut milk bag. You might want to pop on some gloves if you're going to do some squeezing. You want to get all that beautiful flavour out. If you've got chooks or a compost, obviously there's not any alcohol in this yet, so you could absolutely be popping this into those. And just getting all.
I was going to say, Sarah, you'd have very happy chooks. Happy
I know, it's huge, isn't it? And the same again, you could be using any sort of berries. You could have strawberries or strawberries and raspberries or any other sort of combo, but I just had a mixed bag of these. I think one rogue blueberry just bounced across the ship and dived in. Right, so got that. Set that aside. So now it's what it's going to get you to do is to add in your rum. So it doesn't specify, you can use whatever sort that you like. You might be using like a cinnamon type flavoured rum. You could be using a dark rum or a light rum. I'm actually going to use some Bacardi. So it wants 300 grams. So we're just going to power on. So remove and give it a good stir. You can also just give it a whiz for a couple of seconds with your lid on, which is what I'm actually going to do because I don't think I can find another clean spatula. They're all still in the car from a class the other day. Then what you're going to do is pop it into your little jars that you're going to use. Avery labels are a great one for popping stickers on and that sort of thing. So it just depends what you're going to do. But this can be stored in the fridge. Obviously, just keep it until you're ready to gift it in the fridge. Let's see if I can pour it into this without actually using a funnel because I can't find that either. And obviously you can be as generous or not as you like with your friends. You want to make sure the rim is nice and clean as well to keep them sterile. You can use your Varoma for sterilising your bottles as well. But there it is, all bottled up. I'm actually going to pour the rest into a much bigger one. So that's a 500 ml bottle to give you an idea of how much this actually makes. Because I need to grab some more smaller bottles. So I'll just decant it from here. So got a good litre and a half. So you can be doing the little jars, you know, little 300 ml jars. It's a really nice gift. You could get quite a few out of this recipe to gift off to friends. And got a super tasty one. So I'm just going to let that cool down on the bench and then I'm going to pop that into the fridge. So really easy one to do. 3 months that will keep for. But the recipe for that, obviously, is either in the chat or it's on Cookie Do under berry liqueur. So that's that recipe. I'm actually going to get the next one started because it needs some cooking time. And then we might pop across to another recipe while that's going on. So I'm going to make chocolate salami, which is a bit of a weird one. But we've got our arrowroot biscuits. There's 200 grams in there. We're going to pop them in and then literally we're just going to give these a chop for about 13 seconds on speed 4. At this time of year, I don't know about anyone else, but all I seem to do is be crushing biscuits, whether that's digestives or arrowroot biscuits. Rum balls are a great one. Any type of truffle, they're really easy to make. So super tasty gifts to give. So you might think 13 seconds is actually a long time when you're crushing biscuits, but we don't want them obliterated. On speed 4, you're still going to get lots of different chunks. So I'm going to give this a little scrape down, going to give it just another half a second because some of those are a little bit bigger than I would like. So I'm just going to go backwards using the back arrow. And we'll finish chopping them off. So then we're going to set that aside. And so then that is the consistency. So I hope you can see that a bit better. You actually do want some bigger pieces with this one. So then it wants 100 grams of dried fruit. So I've actually just got some dried blueberries, some dried cherries, and I've got some almonds in there. And we're going to chop this for 5 seconds on it says set that aside with your biscuits, but it's not going to fit in my biscuit container. So then there are the nuts and the fruit. So now it wants 80 grams of raw sugar. And we're going to make our icing sugar. Who doesn't love that beautiful cloud? The air is nice and sweet here now, but I'm going to tip that out. And we've got 100 grams of our chocolate nibs again. That's going to go in. I'm going to chop these for 4 seconds on speed 7. So that is your chocolate all chopped up. So I guess you scrape the sides, and then what we're going to do is melt that chocolate for 3 minutes. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of our cooked festive wreath. Whoop. So there we go. That's the finished article there. So obviously you pile all the little leftovers that you had. So you had kept aside a little bit of your pistachio, a little bit of your bacon, and that beautiful onion and cranberry filling. You pile it on top of the cheese, which is nice and gooey and melted in the middle. Let's see if we can poke it with a bit of a cheese knife and give you a bit of a look on the inside of that without tipping it clean off the plate. Don't know whether you can see, it's a beautiful, oozy, melted cheese on the inside. So it's absolutely delicious. It's a really great one to take and share. So Jane, is there any chance that you can, want to give it a try and let's see if we can make that happen?
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Apologies, everyone. I'm much better using the technology in the Thermomix than other things. So, can you see that? Can you see it up there or not?
Yes, can see.
Condensed milk?
Yep.
Okay.
too, and it's available to all models of the Thermomix.
I think Ben have a
First,
problem
add in some
hearing
butter,
it though,
40
because
grams of
it won't go
unsalted
through
butter,
my
along with
audio when I've got my
125
headphones
grams
in.
of
That
water.
sounds fine.
You'll then heat this for 3 minutes, 120 degrees, speed 2. If you're using your TM31, it's for 3 minutes, aroma, speed 2. Then we're going to add in our remaining ingredients, which is 180 grams of raw sugar, along with 110 grams of milk powder and a pinch of salt. We're then going to blend that for 30 seconds at speed 10 until it's smooth. This is in a thinner state currently, so when we go to put it into our containers, my tip here is your sterilized jar or a container, pop the lid on the top of that, and then you can use the lid as your funnel when you're pouring in. As I'm using this condensed milk today, I'm putting it into a container. The lid will then catch anything that you spill, as you'll see that I will do, and then you can just literally scrape it off your lid and into your bowl. And there you go, condensed milk. Enjoy.
Fabulous for getting the sound on the go. Yeah, so condensed milk can be made on Cookie Dough as a single serve, or you can head over to the recipe community and make the large quantity, which is actually the equivalent of 4 tins plus 100 grams spare. So, you know, if you're cooking with love and you like to lick the spoon, there is some backup there for you. So I have melted that chocolate now, so we're going to move on. It says to set aside 3 tablespoons of your sugar. I can see Annie's got some condensed milk down in the bottom screen, I think. And I'm going to add the remaining sugar that we milled earlier into the Thermomix bowl. I'm also going to add 50 grams of salted butter that's at room temperature. And I'm going to add 3 egg yolks. So then we're going to put the lid back on. And this is going to mix for 30 seconds at speed 4. So the heat within the chocolate should cook your egg yolks along with the sugar. So you need to get out a piece of baking paper, pop that down on your bench, because you're going to wrap this up a bit like a Christmas bonbon. A really good way to gift those beautiful biscuits that Anne made earlier is to wrap them in your Glad wrap nice and tight, and then wrap them in your Christmas paper. Tie them at ribbons at the end so they look like a Christmas bonbon. They're a really nice gift to give. So we've mixed all of that. So that's brought all of that together. Just going to give the sides a scrape down, so make sure that we're getting all that egg mixed in. It's coming up nice and creamy now. It wants us to add 30 to 50 mils of rum. I'm only adding in 40. So we're adding in our reserved fruit and our crushed biscuits. Lid back on. And this is going to mix for 30 seconds, but on reverse this time around. So speed 3. We're trying not to do too much more damage to the biscuits. But to put the baking paper down, we're going to turn this into a log. It needs to chill into the fridge. It takes about 3 hours to set. We're going to put that reserved sugar down to roll it in, so you get a nice little coating on the outside of your chocolate salami. But I don't put the sugar down until I've got a bit of a rough log shape first. So there is the mixture. We want to get that out onto our paper. Smells like I've made rum balls, but same but different. You could just be using vanilla extract or something like that if you don't want to have a boozy version. If I use the spatula just to try and make a shape without we'll try not to imagine what it actually looks like at the minute. Use the sides of your baking paper to pull it together. So then you actually get your beautiful salami log shape. And then I sprinkle that sugar across the bench on the baking paper and you start your rolling.
Sarah, I wonder if you could use one of those sushi makers to shape it.
You can, but I find just pinching the baking paper together, the bamboo mats definitely help, but I find just rolling in the...
Lyndall, when I make these $250 cookies, I often use the sushi maker, and the sushi maker has the guide to cut it as well if I want to get super fancy about it. I have a good eye because I can trim a box hedge like that, but and I can drill a hole in a child's tooth like that. So, but if I want to get, you know, precise, I will use the sushi maker. You are so right.
You need to work quickly because it is quite a wet mix. So there is your log. I just pull together the baking paper and then fold it over so you get a nice seam on it. As that starts to firm up, so it doesn't end up with a flat bottom in the fridge from just sitting flat, I will bring it out and give it a nice little smooth over to round all the edges off so that I do end up with a lovely nice circle at the end of it. But you'll see from the picture within Cookie Dough that when you slice this up to put into your grazing boxes or on your cheese platters, whatever it is that you're doing, you get beautiful round circles of your chocolate salami. So over to you, Jane. What else can you put in a grazing box?
Before I start with that, so we just had a question in the chat about the wreath, having it hot or cold. I normally always prefer it hot because you get that beautiful oozy cheese, and it's too delicious to wait, but it would work cold as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it does work cold as well.
Just need to scoop it out. Such good flavours.
And Jane, sorry, just going back to the condensed milk, we make dairy-free condensed milk, and so you can't buy dairy-free, because even the coconut milk powder from the supermarket, the AM brand, it does have actually milk protein in it. So if you're cooking, which is, I don't know, but anyway, but this is the brand I use. It's New Life coconut milk. You can get it at your IGA, and this is like virtually dairy-free, gluten-free, paleo-friendly, keto-friendly, all that kind of stuff. So don't feel you can't make something. You just experiment and you just have to find, but it does make very good condensed milk if you swap things out. So I thought I'd, in case there was any dairy-free or vegan people on.
Can I just jump in and say, Lyndall won't pump her own thing, but Lyndall's kitchen, kitchen, what is it, Lyndall? Tell us what it is. Come off. She does a lot of gluten-free, dairy-free, and she is my woman that I go to, like, if I've got a customer and I need some help, I'm like, Lyndall, just follow Lyndall, okay? What's it called, Lyndall?
Oh, it's okay. People will find me. We're a team Elevate.
Mum's thermo kitchen.
Okay, I better jump in with what I was going to do. I am actually on the other side of the bench tonight, which is really strange for me. And I wanted to show you all, because it's a crazy time of year, how to use your Thermomix to prep things kind of in advance and then throw them together when you can. We're always asked to take a plate and things at the moment, but what I love using are the grazing boxes. So you can see I've got a couple up here and I'm going to bring them up closer. It was hard. It's always hard to decide what to put in the grazing box. And what I love about them is they're super easy to use. You can make them to meet all dietary requirements. My top tips are probably keeping it simple, sticking to whatever budget you can use, and have heaps of fun. So use all your seasonal produce. I am going to show you what I've put in and what I've left out at the moment. What's really lovely, these come in two sizes. There's a small one and there's a large grazing box. They're actually a host reward during the festive season at the moment, where you get the two sizes plus a festive flavour cookbook for free if your guest purchases at your demo, or for $50 if no one purchases. They're a lovely bamboo one, so they come just with the plastic lid. I'm going to try to, I might even just move my camera. So this is the small size, and I'm going to flip us around because I'm going to lose this otherwise. Sorry, everyone. I got the video working, but I can't do the rest of it. That way, maybe. Can I flip the camera? Leanne, how am I flipping?
Look down the bottom, you should have a little flip.
Hey, okay.
That's it.
So this is my savoury one at the moment. I have thrown into dip. I've got crackers, which I haven't even bothered to make tonight. I've just got a wedge of cheese. I've put in another dip. I love using these bamboo bowls off the mix shop. And then I left off my pickles. You can put in all of your sun-dried tomatoes or your olives or anything else like that. My go-to dips are probably the herb and garlic dip, which is in the corner here. If you need something dairy-free, I always love a hummus, and you can add roast pumpkin or something to it to add it out. I've left off the pesto at the moment so that it's nut-free, and always add your dukkha and things on top. So that's a small grazing plate at the moment. Quince paste, also all really good if you are making your quince paste and stuff. I love to use my little silicone muffin ones, so then you can pop them out and have them the right size to throw in there. I have lined my grazing box just with paper because I like to do it that way. It makes it easier when I've got the cheeses. I'll move that one out of the way. I think I've, the bit that I hadn't put in that I was going to show you all was, it is vegetarian at the moment, but I'm going to put in my rows of salami. I just want to show you, if you get a champagne glass and fold your salami over the top, when you flip it over, which I can't do quite yet because I've only got two hands, I'll show you when it's in the board afterwards. It looks lovely and very professional. Okay, everyone has kind of given away half of my sweet treats in my grazing box, and I really needed to go the bigger size up tonight. My other tip, sorry, if you use your vacuum seal container, you can do all your veggie sticks and things beforehand and just take out what you need. Our sweet one, we have raspberries, all our seasonal fruit, cherries. There is some grapes in there. I love to make everything mini for my grazing box, so you can just enjoy lots of little things. So these are just the gingerbreads done off the Festive Flavour Cookbook, just with the mini star cutter from up the top of the Christmas tree. I've done some caramel toffees, which probably at this stage are getting a little bit tight. So again, I've just done them all in silicone molds, all festive kind of ones. So they're the ones that didn't make it in terms of shapes and things. Everyone has talked about the candy cane bark, which I thought was going to be a big surprise, but I also like to use my kids' candy canes that come home on the cards to do something different. And we just crush it up in the Thermomix, melt it and put it on the bark, on the chocolate. It's also so quick. I did that this morning when I forgot that I actually needed to do something for the teachers, and did a fruit and nut one. So again, whatever works. Tiny little mini meringues. We do little ones in there, and we've got some honeycomb. What's missing again, that's my favourites, are all my dipping sauces for my sweet stuff. So my top ones are just a ganache that you can then dip all your fruit and things in, but I'd have to go to the bigger box, a lemon curd or a berry curd or just a berry coulis. I've also often done things like little mini bundt cakes and things, so you can put them in there to cut them up. You can do slices. I've done scones, jam and cream in my grazing boards. In my savoury ones, I often do little mini pizzas and things. Pretty much we take these whenever we need a container, whether that's going to basketball or a friend's place or anything else. There, I think that's me. So I'm going to tip my salami over. If I can move my things back. But as I said, awesome gift. Definitely once everyone saw me taking mine around last year, they were very popular for a Christmas present. But the best way to get it at the moment is as a host reward. So I will just tip that out. So then it looks lovely. I think that was from Sarah, that tip. So that ends up just popping in. We've got a bit more room.
Oh,
So they are, sorry?
Full to the eyeballs.
Yeah, I know, it's hard. I do normally use the big one. I'll just show you how big the big one is empty, because it was being the bottom of my Christmas tree tonight. So that's the large size, and that's the smaller size, the lid, just so you can compare the two. In terms of actual volume, I don't know what the specified ones are, but as I said, they are beautiful, hardy, sturdy, easy to take places, and means you don't have to balance things on a sharing plate and be that person that's juggling it all. It all stays really nice and compact and looks amazing. Great for festive season, picnics and all the rest of it as well.
You can have grazing things in there for 8 to 10 people in that large one.
Oh yeah.
I'm mindful of the time and that we are supposed to be finishing shortly. So we're going to fling to Leanne, who's going to make you the quickest little snowdrop treats going around. Okay. No pressure.
I'm thinking, I thought maybe I'll just make it while someone else is talking, but I'll see how we go. All right. So yes, we are doing some coconut balls. So I'll try and speed it up. I've already just put some coconut aside and put it into a tray, which is what I'll be coating these in once they're done. So 40 grams of blanched almonds, pop those in. 225 grams of white chocolate buttons, that in. 20 grams of brown sugar. 80 grams of coconut. And I'm going to pop that lid on. Okay, 10 seconds.
Do love that it mutes our end, Leanne.
Usually I have to warn everyone in their house. I didn't quite get there, but my son's just to the side nearly burst his eardrums. So in 10 seconds, we've got a really nice chopped up bits there. Alrighty, so next, a bit too quick there. 60 grams of coconut cream. Three tablespoons of coconut oil. So there is a difference with the coconut oil. There's one that's better for cooking and there's the other one. So I just make sure I get the one that's actually for cooking. And depending on how hot it is in your house, it will actually sort of like go into liquid. At the moment, it's not that hot in my house, and I've got the cooling going because I just can't stand the humidity. Unless I'm in Bali beaching. If I'm here, I have to be cool.
Put that in the fridge, please.
Okay. Insert lid. Okay, so for 2 minutes, I'm going to go to speed 2. So this is heating and melting, so that the coconut oil is, as you saw, is solidified. But it just says to prolong for 1 minute if necessary. So I'm going to check it after the minute. Okay, so just heating and melting for about 2 minutes.
Leanne,
Yes.
the coconut cream that you just put in the box, sorry, I missed it too. Shona was just saying, is it it's coconut cream that you used? Awesome.
Coconut cream?
Yep. And you can
Yep.
just then seal it back up and reuse it.
Yeah, so that's what I just noticed this tonight when this morning when I bought it. But yeah, it comes in a little screw top, which is great because the cans usually, you know, you might use some of it and then you'll try and put it into something else. So I thought it was quite handy.
What's the brand on it?
So yes.
Coconut cream freezes really well as well. I defrost okay. So
Oh, okay, that's good to know because I've always often wondered what I can do with the rest.
It's a yarn and it's one of the best ones you can get. Really good, Leanne.
All right, so I just got 40 seconds to go.
Thanks, Kaz, for putting the grazing box sizes in the chat for us too.
So 14 more seconds, nearly done.
Can I jump in and show my mini thing I didn't fit in the
Go
box
for it.
because my family ate it? These are the little Christmas shortbreads, not dipped, the pistachio and cranberry ones, because everyone else did a cranberry theme, so I needed to jump in.
That's
again, done mini really well, but please hide them from the children because they won't, you'll only have 2 left for your grazing box otherwise. Sorry, crew.
All right, so I'm just going to whiz back in. So now I'm going to add 40 grams of rice bubbles, which are here. More coconut, 150 grams. Right. Insert my lid. So the blades have gone into reverse, and for 40 seconds, we're just combining all the ingredients. And it just says, if it's not the consistency that we're liking, it can prolong that. But I'm pretty sure when I looked at it before, I think because it is quite warm, it's all combining quite well. So it's a bit that kind of sticky consistency.
Another one I like to use, Leanne, when I'm coating any of those things is your thermoserver. So I'll pop the coconut in the thermoserver, start tipping the balls in.
Yes, good idea. Except mine is full of food in the fridge at the minute. Okay.
You're a customer, Leanne, I'll be telling you to host the demo.
So that's pretty much it. I've got my mixture now. Now I've got the fun job of rolling those into balls. So if I find some children around, I might get them to do it as well. So that's my recipe. And I'll start rolling while you guys chat or do whatever you want to do.
Right, so I will finish it back off. So while Leanne gets a couple rolled out, so you can actually have a look at one of her coconut almond snowballs, which come up looking quite a treat when they're done. We'll give her a chance to actually get some rolled out. We'll recap all of the things that you've seen this evening. I would love to say a very warm thank you from Team Elevate for everyone who's continued to support us and come along and watch our cooking classes throughout the year. We really appreciate that you come along, ask questions. The whole point of us is to support you on your journey. So we run generally 1 Zoom class a month. We try our best. Sometimes school holidays catch us a little, We do have in-person classes here in Geelong. We try to aim for one a month, but sometimes that's the same. It gets out to one every 2 months. We did travel this year. We went up to Bendigo a couple of times. We went across to Horsham. Our team is quite spread out at the moment. We go right across to Mildura. Lee, who shared the video for the beautiful condensed milk, is all the way up in Underwool. So thank you, Lee, for taking the time to do that. But we had Deb showcase our beautiful chocolate aniseed bark. And she's just popping up. Say hi, Deb, so it pops up on the screen.
Hello, yum, yum.
Yes, get in my belly. Then we went across and we did Leanne's salad, but we'll get her to show that when she shows her beautiful almond balls shortly. We then came across and started in on the making of our beautiful Christmas wreath here. That's our lovely festive camembert wreath. We went across to Lyndall and she did the beautiful peppermint hot chocolate sticks.
Yep, so here they are here. And so just remember, all you have to do is use your kettle mode to heat your milk and dunk them in and hot chocolate. Voila. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Yum. And they are such a festive gift, Lyndall. We came across and we got started on a little bit of berry liqueur, which I'm quality controlling for everybody as we speak. We also got the chocolate salami started, which is not salami at all, but it's reminiscent of salami. We went across to Anne, who made our delicious $250 top of the line choc chunk cookies. Tell us about what you got there, Anne.
So I pre-made a half batch and minus, I think, 4 that my family have eaten. This is a half batch of them. They smell so delicious.
Yeah.
And
Yum.
when you make a full batch, it says divided into 3 logs. It just depends what size you're going to do it. And when you pop it in the fridge, let it get semi-firm, then bring it out and roll it again, and then do that and that, because that just flattens your ends so that your end bit is usable, you know, not wonky. And if they've been in the fridge, the recipe says to bake them for 8 to 10 minutes. It takes a little bit longer. So just watch them. Watch them so that they've just turned brown, and they will actually possibly just cook a little bit more because it had only just turned brown on the edge. Don't overcook them. Touch them on the top just to see that the center of the cookie will be slightly soft, the outside will be firm, and it'll be perfect, absolutely perfect. They are so delicious. I'm holding my family back right now from eating them. Thank you.
If you were making those for Jane's grazing boxes, you'd probably get 100 little biscuits out of that batch. I mean, a half batch.
You really would. It's massive. And the fact that you can actually give a log of it unbaked to someone to have in their freezer, it is just a beautiful, beautiful gift.
Yeah, a really nice one, Anne. Thank you for sharing that one. We then popped across to Jane, who whipped up all our amazing grazing boxes and gave you lots of tips and hints, lots of good ideas for your pavlovas and your little curds and your coulis and all of those sorts of things. Obviously, all of your dips. Search on Cookie Do for dips. If you are having trouble searching for recipes on Cookie Do, please, please, please come to one of our Cookie Do sessions. I run 2 every month for our team, and that is without fail, 2 every month. So one's normally at the start of the month, one will be later in the month, one will be during the day, and one will be during the evening. So there's always something for everyone. The days of the week change as well. So if you have work on a particular Tuesday, you might catch us next time on a Thursday. So definitely keep your eye out for those. If you're registered and following Team Elevate on Eventbrite, then you will always get an email notification when we load a class. So I definitely recommend that you follow us there if you aren't already, because then, you know, we know Facebook likes to hide our feed. It makes it difficult sometimes to keep in touch with what we're actually doing. But when it comes to classes, if you're following us on Eventbrite, then it makes it super easy. Leanne looks like she stopped rolling. Show us your salad, Leanne. And
Right,
then
yep, salad.
the coconut almond snowballs. Oh, yum.
That's the salad.
Yum.
And
Oh, they look good. Those lovely coconut snowballs. So hopefully you've all found something to give you a little bit of inspiration that you can serve up and share with your friends and family this Christmas. Thank you once again for joining us. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you have a lovely, safe and festive holiday season, New Year. Wishing everyone good health for the new year. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good
thanks.